This should be good. Toby, we're not going out. Please. Bleh. Yeah, we should be on the air now. If they can give me free cap, that'd be even more better. I know none of you care, but Jesus. Okay, we should be on the air now. Welcome into State of the Union pre-game show. Presented by Taco Bell. I'm John of Doom. Today we're going to see T Soups' what is this, her first one or is it her second one?
This would be her first one.
Her first one, wow. I could have sworn she had a State of the Union a couple of weeks ago. Guess nothing happened. Hey, where's my gavel? I don't have a gavel, and now I'm angry. Give me a gavel. Okay, that's besides the point, though. I'm joined now by one of the event organizers, NASA Nova. Good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
Yeah, pleasure to be here, Mr. John.
So, you're one of the organizers, aren't you?
Yeah, I guess so. I could. Yeah.
So what did you do?
What was that?
So what did you do for this event?
What did I do?
Yeah.
I just accepted people in the group, mainly
Wow.
senators and their invitees.
Yeah. Oh, you're his press secretary? Let me move you up. Yeah, I automatically ignore DMs unless they're really important.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Hello. How are you guys doing?
Doing good, you?
I'm doing very well. I'm very excited for our president tonight to give her list of accomplishments to the nation. She has done tremendous work. I've worked with her personally as both a member of Congress and then both a member of her administration. And I'm very excited to see her. So you guys, I'm really excited to see her tonight. I know Raph and his team and her team has worked diligently to ensure that all the proper points are in her address. So, very excited to be here.
So what should Americans expect?
I think Americans are going to expect, the same people, the same person that they see every day. They see a president that is willing to work for them each and every day. This president has been nothing but courageous. Even really probably she has probably had one of the weirdest administrations of all time with the whole George Godsent and his party constantly humanizing her each and every day and what's going on right now, what was going on with the plutocrats versus the pioneers and the failed impeachment attempt on her and her vice president. There was just a lot of moving pieces and she was able to persevere through that. We really and we see that there was that failed and honestly our membership application for UNC failed, right? But she was able to persevere with that. Now we have uh, a united front and a united partner within an North Atlantic Treaty Organization that the president pushed through with the help of her State Department, Secretary Ghost, and also to her diligent work working with Congress to make sure that that treaty got passed tonight. So I'm very excited to see her. Really excited to see her officially sign that into law. So.
That's interesting. There was a bit of a commotion on the Senate floor. I understand she was in attendance, wasn't she?
So there's a lot of members of Congress. I must say,
Uh-huh.
I feel that T Soups sometimes oversteps. No, she's just looking out for the best interest of the American people, and she's invited by fellow senators and fellow reps to be on the floor. She should be allowed on the floor. For one, she's the formal Speaker of the House. Um, a very accomplished one, if I may add. So that commotion was completely unnecessary. I think Congress needs to continue to do its work, and I think the president has full faith in what's going on right now within the newly elected class two, and really the special elections that are coming up, and really her party is only growing stronger. So we're going to really see a lot more things get done in Congress. So I'm really excited to see her legislative agenda come into fruition in the next couple weeks.
Does the president, will the president in her speech announce her future plans? Maybe a reelection bid?
That is something that you're going to be. That is something that you're going to stay tuned on. I personally haven't spoken to the president about it, but I can rest assured that she's going to do what's best for the American people. If she feels that she can run a second term, she will run for a second term. I can absolutely guarantee you that, John. But as of right now, I cannot confirm or deny. That is something that you're going to see tonight.
Have you seen the speech yourself?
I haven't personally seen the speech. She wrote it on her own. Um, Raph kind of just been hitting more at the policy points of it, but she's pretty much been writing it all by herself. So I'm really excited to see what she has to present to the American people. What I definitely know is you're gonna see her, talk about her accomplishments in office. Look, Noosa is the most active it has been in over 2 years. That is a fact. Noosa is only going to get more active. Noosa is only going to get better under this administration, and you see, she has rebuilt all of our departments, and she's going to continue to do so. And I'm really excited to see that moving forward.
Does anyone else have any questions? All right, you're free to go. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
NASA, you're back.
Yeah. So, John June, what do you think about this State of the Union versus maybe some in the past?
Well, it's a new State of the Union, so maybe not that much. So we might expect the same old speech from every president that comes into this table, copy paste. I think T will personally speak into the mic for this one, which will spice it up a bit. But it's usually the same old plans that everyone proposes, and there's no opposition to push back against anything. So that's not a political opinion. That's just me looking into the wall again as my dog continues to. What is he doing? He's eating hair. Wow. Uh, I I personally think we should. This speech might be something to watch for, especially with the election rumors. Were um, calm down, please. I'm live. That is my dog, and shut up. He loves belly rubs. Um. Okay, what was I talking about again? Oh yeah, the thing. We're only I don't know a couple of weeks until you can legally start campaigning. And
That's
given
right.
the current state of things, there might be people who may not want to run against her. So if she announces a reelection, the state of the opposition, I believe, is just so crumbled or pretty much non existent that you're not going to see a competitive race unless someone really big runs. What do you think?
And I think you're right, but since we have the multi ballot and the parties now, I think the game of elections has truly changed. I mean, you see it in Congress elections all the time, where a clean sweep by a party is very often very common, versus the individual getting their votes and possibly winning a seat is lowering every election. But this election we actually had an independent win Senate Class 2 seat one, which was very rare because he or she had to pull over 50 plus votes in order to get that.
Wow. But then again, you have to remember the other parties are kind of down in the dumps right now. I mean, George God said I believe the only reason why the plutocrats won a majority last time was because of George Johnson. Now he's banned, and we saw what happened after that. It's back to the status quo. It's back to normal. So unless we see something like that again with the other parties. I just don't see a future where, unless someone from another party wins the presidential election, we're going to see any real opposition. So even with the multi-ballot system, it's kind of useless when everyone wants to go to the same party.
And that is true. Like, we do need some people to step up in certain parties. But
But
even in the
nobody will
Pioneer
step
Party,
up.
like, what's that?
Nobody will step up.
Yeah, I mean, it's bound to happen eventually. But I agree, it's not going to be like something like the George effect on the Democratic Party. Not for a very long time, I believe. But even in the Pioneer Party, I mean, not all pioneers are supporting of TC, surprisingly. There's some that are like branched off. Some other influential members of the Pioneer Party have risen up and gained more influence, maybe even neck with T-Soups. So it'd be interesting to see who ends up running in the primaries against T-Soups in the Pioneer Party.
That'd be interesting. I haven't done one of these live streams for what in a while. I'm just scrolling. Um, Give me a second. Um, I guess we could take up a couple of people. Let's see who wants to join first. Hello. Joe Biden. As if. Okay, I fixed the user. Let's go.
Hello, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. How are you?
Doing fine. How are you?
I'm doing very well. And, we're going to save our country. We got so many great people in the audience and, in the USA Discord server over here. It's just an incredible sight now. We got so many incredible, great patriotic Americans. And we're going to have a great State of the Union, right? We're going to have a great State of the Union. But I want to know if we're going to get out of the forever wars. I had great historic peace with the Abraham Accords. You know that, John? You know that trade? You know that, Nassan? You know that? So I want to know, are we going to get out of that?
That's actually a really good question. The only thing we forgot to consider is there's no active international community to get into a trade war with, so
Well, there could be, but hopefully we don't have to worry about places like China or Russia. They come after me. They say, "Sir, what the hell are you doing over here on stage? You got a Russia hoax, No, but we're going to save America. And I really appreciate you letting me up here and just talking to all these great Americans. We got to save our country. And I just want to remind everybody, it's very important. We got to get everybody out there to vote. We got to get everybody out there to register. And we're going to make our country great again. So thank you so much for having me on.
thank you. You energize this chat up a lot. Would love to have you back on again. Metzdog, you're live.
I just want to say I hate arcology. Thank you.
Okay, at least you made it short. Why do I hear myself? Anyone else want to join this fun party? Pity party? Eh. That's what I'm calling it anyway. Why?
John Doom, what do you think about the current state of the House of Representatives?
It's a house. So people are representing. I don't really know much about it. I really don't. The current
It's a
state
good
of things.
response.
Okay, Bassmill, you're live. Hello?
Who do you think is the best House representative? House representative. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear
Preston.
you.
Who do you think is the best House representative right now?
I don't know. I don't pay much attention. I've been busy doing schoolwork.
Acid raps.
Us? Definitely not Hark. Definitely not Hark. I hate him. Definitely not him.
I think it's Tony Lewinsky.
Tony? That's a good pick. Yeah, but I think Beth Hamza is probably the best one.
Hmm.
Or Mets.
I know that guy's trash.
Nah. And Loki, Mets Loki the best House Representative after me. Maybe VX is up there, but debatable.
No, I'm not giving you a belly rub again. Shut up. Not you. Stupid dog.
Yep. Hark, I hate you, bro.
All right, 10 minutes remains until the State of the Union address. What do you think
Yo, I'm
the
gonna go to Olive Garden.
okay,
What should I get? What should I get?
endless shrimp?
Endless shrimp? I'm not a big fan of seafood.
Neither am I. I'm allergic to shrimp, actually.
What would you recommend it then?
I don't know. I never ate there.
Uh,
Someone's speaking.
John Doom, what do you think of the CIA infiltrating the United States Senate and using members such as acid raps to do their bidding?
It's the CIA. They'll get away with whatever they want. They literally overthrew a country in Latin America somewhere. I have to go attend to the designated survivor. By the way, yeah, these real State of the Unions have designated survivors. I think we should have one for here.
Hey, who is the designated survivor? Should be Fuzzmouth 11, most inactive cabinet member.
Yes. Do you think we should bring back assassination rules?
I think in DCV3 we should.
Why?
Here's just
what's the assassination rules?
But it should be like only like a certain like week, a window of a week. Like that person could be assassinated.
Matrix
Like,
OC.
1 week out of their term, they're eligible to be assassinated.
Matrix OC is a designated survivor.
Yeah, the Ridgeway terrorist. Nice.
7:51 is our time here, and we are still waiting. As we take a look at the
I expected more people to come.
three people who are watching from the gallery. Make that 4. Oh wow. Yeah, I'll have the camera on as soon as speech begins. I'll record it for my own posterity as well. God, this is boring.
Where is the president? Is she on the hill?
I don't know. How long has it been since T Soups has been elected?
Let's see. When was this last election? Wasn't it in like July?
Probably.
It was July or August, so probably like 3 months. 3 months, yeah. Or 2 months.
This will be a very fun speech. I apologize if you're not. Who texted me? There are many people who want to be brought up. Wow. Finally. Invite to speak. John, severe weather is on the way. Take cover now. Oh boy. Yeah.
The XWJ, the House Majority Leader, wants to be brought up.
Followed by VXWJ and
Hello.
we're just getting these images that T has arrived to the House of Representatives. If you're watching on the stream, I will put that up for you. But she
It is.
has arrived.
The Sergeant at Arms is right there.
NASA Nova.
Yeah.
I'm sorry about what happened earlier. I didn't know it. I wasn't home. I just saw it now.
Yeah, just low-key annoying as fuck.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
The school.
It won't happen again.
John,
Okay.
in regards of congressional attendance, how do you see it? I see two little House representatives and like not a majority of the Senate in here when the speech is like already going to begin. What's your take on that?
My take is that people just don't even want to come. They might have some other things they want to go.
I like Mets dog better than Harkology.
God.
I was
Yeah,
forced to say that anyway.
I was paid to actually say that. Mets dog has a weapon to my head right now, and if I don't say it, I will be executed right now. So I am forced to say it. I like Mets dog over Harkology. Is that enough? Can
Smart
you put the weapon away?
smart choice. I also
Mets,
enjoy
please.
Metsog over
Oh
Hercology,
no, he
and
has a
it's
gun to my head. He has a gun to my head also.
Mets,
Oh, no.
Mets, please remove the weapon, please. I already did it. There's no need to
here it
shoot.
is. Here it
Calm
is.
down.
Here it is. Here it is.
Oh yeah, I'm the president of the United States.
Mr. Speaker, the President
Master
of the
Speaker.
United States. Yeah.
Clap.
Okay,
Clap, everyone.
I will shut up now.
Yeah, me too.
The Speaker has informed me that we are ready to begin the State of the Union, and as such, I will start now at 7:57 p.m. Ladies and gentlemen, and my fellow Americans, we're back where it all began. It was just a mere 2 months ago, July 16th, when you and I sat in these chambers and were informed of the results of our efforts. We fought in unity, as a group committed to progression and the betterment of our union. Thus, as we approach the halfway mark, I am extremely proud to have been able to deliver that change. It is with uncontested delight that I present to you all the state of our union and embrace the present favorable prospects of our public affairs. In this administration, I derive significant contentment from the cooperation of the American people to ensure a free and equal government founded by the people and for the people. The well-being and maintenance of prosperity in this country is the very object of which I have committed my time and efforts to, and I found myself obtaining great satisfaction from our accomplishments. In the first half of this term, I sustained an immense focus on creating and bettering our foreign affairs, running an efficient and transparent executive branch, and what may have been the most daunting task, restoring the American people's faith in the government. With these goals complete, we have made available an abundance of opportunities for the future of this nation. So tonight, I would like to thank the Speaker and staff who made this possible. Delivering the State of our Union is an extremely high honor, and I'm here tonight to inform you all of the fruits of our labor and make certain to you that we are not done yet. We still have a common goal to work towards, and although we can take tonight to revel in the progress we have made thus far, it is imperative to recognize the need for unity and togetherness as we push forward. I shall remind the people that the state of our union, which I inherited, specifically in regards to the international community's perception of us, was simply put, not good, as President Ford once said. NUSA was in a dying United Nations, and at the time we had consistent relations with one country. I called out this issue many times during the campaign period, and I made a promise to the American people to ensure you that we would be in the greatest UN by the end of my term. The fact that this has become our reality in less than 2 months is truly astonishing, and I must commend the tireless work of the State Department in securing our international status. But this was no easy task. As we began our ascension in the international community, we were frequently told by respectable nations that the state of NUSA had deteriorated and was overrun with trolling, while real government roleplay was on a seemingly permanent hiatus. The international community often brought up President James Montague in Reset 4K as the last anecdotes of NUSA left in the foreign front, and convincing this large and esteemed community that NUSA is on a path to betterment, I must honestly say, was very, very difficult. After a 4-year absence, we have once again secured our status as a respectable nation present in the international community. After gaining admittance into the UN and the respective Security Council, we went on to help found the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, of which the North Atlantic Treaty has just passed the Senate floor, and furthermore were admitted into the Organization of American States, replacing the former competing USA. The United States has remained firm on its stance of peacekeeping, and to advance this commitment, we have also funded the International Monetary Fund to empower other row nations. This initiative is not just about resources, it's about fueling the creativity and innovation that makes the international community thrive. Regaining our diplomatic status with foreign nations introduces a multitude of possibilities for all areas of our country. Therefore, it is important to ensure that we as a nation are prepared for the future. The executive branch has remained unequivocally committed to transparency to the American people and has implemented policies to protect employee rights and eliminate false terminations through the National Employment and Labor Authority. With the Senior Executive Service Program under the same, we have created a program tasked solely with helping promising new federal employees gain experience. It's through these concrete actions and good leadership that we have restored your trust in the system of government. And I understand the delicate nature of this trust, and I thank you for putting your faith back into bureaucracy. Though I am not here to exclusively discuss our achievements in these past 2 months, I must also bring to your attention the issues that our nation still faces. In my opinion, undoubtedly, the area that needs the most improvement is our legislative branch. I have never seen the political scene in such a state, and I do not believe that the American people trust their Congress to actively voice their opinions. And this is extremely alarming. There is a lack of initiative in our Congress, and citizens simply do not wish to join the political side of our community when it is in such a state. I believe much of this stems from the low barrier to entry and the absence of interest in the legislative branch because of past concerns of toxicity and cult mentality in Congress. But I'm here to tell you that this is no longer the case, and I call upon any American citizen who has ideas for our nation to become involved in politics. I, along with other past and current senior members of the legislative branch, are here to help you advance your goals and mentor you throughout this process. In fact, just last night I hosted a congressional tutorial for new members of the House of Representatives, and I vow to take a more advisory position in politics and Congress to ensure that our legislative branch returns to its previous state of order and activity. Legislators should be representing their constituents, not engaging in petty personal drama, and it is the responsibility of voters to keep our congresspeople in line. With the Constitutional Convention in finalizing the last draft, I do believe that many of the changes we've made will help get our Congress back on track, but it ultimately starts with those who we have elected to ensure that this change is not wasted. With such change on the way, we as a community must recognize the present condition of Row nations in general and specifically Noosa. We're in a transitionary period. Within the past few months, we have seen the direction that similar communities are taking, and we must prepare for the shift that Noosa will take come next year. Thus, it is the goal of my own administration to begin transitioning Noosa to be ready for this change. But we cannot do this alone. This must be a joint effort led by all community leaders, government, group management, and common DC players alike must recognize this change of vision which is upon us. To speak specifically, the introduction of DC V3 plays a vital role in modernizing Noosa, but at this very moment, I do not believe that we are ready for such drastic change. Yet, it is important to acknowledge who we are. We are truly one of the most unique communities found on this platform. We are a group of leaders, individuals, and creators. We are a collection of diverse backgrounds, similar to the actual United States, and we are stronger because of it. With each passing day, we expand our diversity and welcome new players to our long-standing community. Thus, it has been a personal revelation that I share with many of the leaders in my administration that we are at a critical point in Noosa's history. The next generation is upon us. Therefore, I, and many members on the floor, must recognize that we are not a part of this generation, and it should be our sole task to cater specifically to the future of Noosa. Thus, I would like to end by explicitly addressing two different communities within our group, the old generation and the rising generation. I begin with us old gens. It is time that we take a moment of pause for ourselves to stop and look at this organization that we have created. We have contributed to and led a community which has really stood the test of time for the past 12 years. Perhaps some of us have found our own personal interest through this group, and I know that many of us have taken on majors and careers outside of this which have been heavily influenced by our time here. We should acknowledge and take pleasure in the outcomes of our labor, and I thank you for contributing to the longevity of this group. But it is time to also recognize the end of our tenure. We are not the future of this group anymore, and it is our responsibility to ensure that those new players are greeted with the same opportunities that we all were so many years ago. We must accept the rising generation with open arms and teach them as others did for us. We may be in leadership positions now, but it is time that we start lessening our influence in the community and delegate more to those who will continue past us. It is selfish to continue to hold on to these roles and shun newer players who are eager to learn. We were all there once, and I have made it a priority of mine to train this next generation as best as I can, but this is not something that I can do alone. So, I call upon you all to make way for the next generation. Act as a mentor to them, but do not forget that they are not us, and we should not force them to be. They have their own quirks, and this should be used as an advantage, not shunned. Next, to the rising generation. It is an absolute pleasure to have you all in this community, and it is solely because of you that we are able to continue this group. Therefore, it is also your responsibility to recognize the important role that you possess. You are our future, and the rest of us are here only to support you and your efforts to take part in any aspect of the roleplay. Your ideas are extremely valuable, and I call upon you all to not be afraid to voice your opinions and concerns. This is your community. With that being said, it is also necessary that you understand your vital role in this transitionary period of Noosa. Row communities in general are modernizing themselves to become more realistic in gameplay and roleplay. So to ensure our existence, we must do the same. Although this transition starts with those in leadership positions, it ends with your generation. It cannot be denied that Noosa lost its direction in the last few years, but we have gotten back on track. And it is up to you to maintain that vision. Henceforth, you have all received a personal call to action. You've been reminded of what vital era we are in and the role that you play in ensuring our longevity. I have great hopes for this nation and believe that we can continue to succeed, though I felt it necessary to use tonight to remind us of the path that lies ahead. The continued success of NUSA depends on our collective commitment to unity, mentorship, and innovation. To the established members, empower the rising generation and advise them as they begin their journey just as we once did. And to the rising generation, your voices are essential. You are our future, and I call upon you to rise to the occasion, but do not neglect the great responsibility that comes with such. Every individual is pertinent to our upcoming modernization, and as I close out, I would like to leave you with one last thought. We cannot remain as a community of the past anymore. We are revolutionizing ourselves, and we must all be open-minded and accepting of this change if we wish to remain in existence. The time is now, the place is here, and you are the future. Amen, God bless, and thank you.
Ba-boom. That was President T. Soups delivering her State of the Union address to the United States, in which she is warned that in order for NUSA to survive, it must welcome the, quote, rising generation with open arms. This is the State of the Union post-game show. I'm John of Doom, presented by Allstate. You're in good hands with Allstate Insurance, not available in all states. Oh, I've been thinking too much football. I've been thinking too much about football, in all honesty. I go to work, I come out of work, we're leading, and somehow we lose to Buffalo. It was fun while it lasted in top 25, but you're not here to listen to me rant about something I don't really care about. You're here to see me react to the State of the Union. It is a dire threat that T-Soups has warned, saying that the old generation has made this group, has shunned this group from the rising generation, the new generation, who are pivotal to NUSA's survival. She also warned her that for NUSA to survive, the new generation must actually step in and contribute. After dinner, I will do a radio report using all I've learned these past couple of weeks. But stay tuned. We're not done yet because we have a response. I'm being told that we have a response coming up.
Yes, I know. It's at the Lincoln Memorial if you want to go.
Yes, someone please, there we go. Thank you. Okay, let me just get the camera rolling, and we will have your responses shortly. Let me just set up the camera. I will go ahead and shut up. When I say in-game go, that's your cue, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So let's listen in as the State of the Union response is underway. Go.
So, first off, I just want to thank T Soups for her time. It was very informative. Overall, what she talked about was good in general. But my main question to America and to everybody is, where is the beef? And with that, I want to say, first off, she talked a lot about Congress to start off with, and the partisanship and the infighting and what we've seen. And I agree in general, toxicity is bad. The gridlock we've seen in Congress cannot continue if we want people to enter politics and people to get involved with the political side of things. But the issue I take is that the pioneers and in general, pioneer members of the Senate have committed greatly to the toxicity we see at hand. For example, an opposition Senate was elected just a few weeks ago. But despite the fact that we were in the majority, we were not allowed to elect a PPT overall. And just today, what we saw in the Senate was just disgraceful, to be honest. You had senators getting up out of their seats, and senators breaking decorum, and general name-calling and bashing. This cannot continue to stand, but what I want to remark on is that the opposition is not contributing to this. Senator Nasanova and Senator Takis both contributed to the toxicity and gridlock we've seen, and that is not something that the opposition wants to continue. Another thing I want to point out is it was talked a lot about why
An estimated 150,000 Palestinians are being forced to flee areas of central Gaza.
What I want
the
to
UN has
see on that front, and what every American should want to see, is action. We're missing action on these fronts. We're not seeing an ad drive. We're not seeing an ad drive. We're not seeing bills to try to welcome newcomers, to incentivize them to get into the political sphere. You can talk all you want about letting new gens and old gens and all that, but it doesn't matter if you don't act on what you say you're going to do. In general, I think what we need to see more and more is Congress and T-Soups take action to do the things they say they want to do. Start ad drives, start making bills, start, discouraging your senators from being toxic, because I just want to say, it is in the plutocrats, it is in Ford, it is in everybody's interest to get America moving again. And we want to get new people involved and started in politics. And that's my piece.
Boop. Boop. That's your response?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Thank you very much for that response. Apologies if you heard anything on the stream. I'm not sure what happened there. Might have been my microphone acting up and queuing a piece I did for another network. But we are now in the post-game show. I will officially... What I'll do later after dinner is put everything together in one neat report that will be up later tonight. But now we want to hear your reaction towards the whole ordeal, as DC is absolutely getting shot at right now. Let me know what you think. 800-228 WFTN. Let's take it with VXWJ. You're live.
Hello?
Hello, you're live. I'm immortal!
I just wanted to say that was like a amazing speech.
Oh,
I just have a couple questions, I guess.
Go ahead.
But when did we do like a State of the Union reactions? I didn't know that was a thing.
We haven't. But
it was just decided to do because it'd be fun. But that's mainly it. I enjoyed giving the speech, but
All right. Well, I was just asking that because I don't know. Oh yeah, can you let Gatto up now? Can you let Gatto?
Cool
Yeah.
if I
I wonder what he has
respond
to
or
say.
no?
I've been arrested for a hate crime.
Hello?
Go ahead.
Hello? Oh, is it okay if I respond?
And it will happen again if I'm not put on stage. Go ahead and respond, but I'm not recording it. We're live still, but...
That's cool. What was I responding to?
I'm being FA'd. Wow.
And when I say that there is a problem with Congress, Chu, I wasn't just, like, talking about the opposition party. I can recognize that members of the Pioneers are majority of the issue, to be honest, because they're the majority party. But I also think that because of the party system that we have now, it doesn't give room for people who are, like, say that they're a pioneer, but they might not actually stand for the pioneer values, but they choose to be pioneer to be part of the majority and part of the majority that are elected. That I don't exactly know how to remedy that issue, though. It's not something that I can do, and it's not something that any of us regular players can. It's more of a
Yeah, it's more of like a
reevaluation
moderator
of,
thing to get
yeah.
them to do something about it. I think in
I
general
also,
that's because of like multi-ballot and the way
yes,
elections are set up. You know, I take a part of the blame because the recent Senate elections weren't exactly good for us. But in general, I think that tends to be an issue with the dominant party system in general. If we can get a remedy to that, that'd be great, but it's not exactly an easy problem to fix.
for sure. And I don't agree with the seat system, but I understand the issue with the like original system of just voting in the top 7 or top 12. But I like honestly can't think of another solution to it. Like you can have the ranked voting, but I don't think that fixes it either. But it is like unrealistic to have someone voted into House with 15 votes. You know?
Yeah,
So I don't know how to fix that. But although like records show that pioneers have almost at least 90 to 100% in both chambers, it's also important to note that that is not true. You know, there is still a political fighting that's happening in both chambers. Clearly,
and
we
we're
can see that in the
having
Senate
it's an issue with activity in general. I think we're saying, you know, the Senate session today only had 6 people, I think, and 2 of
Yeah,
them tried to break decorum in the middle of the session. Um, I think that's generally an issue with candidate quality, but when you can't have trouble finding candidates in the first place, it's hard to remedy that.
for sure. I mean, quorum should never be an issue. We have a full House now and a full Senate, which is 21 and 24 people, and you're telling me that we can't get six people once a week? You guys can't show up? Like that is absolutely insane.
Hmm.
We used to fill that thing up, and now you have to beg people to get online. Like, don't run if you're not going to go to sessions, but
Yeah.
then when you're trying to run people, you have to beg them to run as well, or else you're going to have empty ballots. People don't want to join the political system or the political side of the game anymore. And I don't know, I think it comes from Congress people presenting themselves in an unfavorable way,
Yeah, and when
along
you
with
and when
past
you like
toxicity.
and when you watch sessions from the gallery and you think, "Wow, that was a shit show. I don't want to be a part of that." Like that in general turns people off from wanting to be in Congress.
For sure. I mean, you have like directors of agencies and Nusa generals saying what is going on in the Senate. Like, why are they all screaming? Why is there 20
Yeah.
motions? Why is nothing getting voted on? And they're right. Like, they have never even been in Congress, and they're right. So,
Also, John, really fast, Gatto really wants to be brought up. You should
so
you
does
should let him.
Nasanova.
Yeah.
Huh?
Um. Oh, okay. Yeah. Gatto and Nasanova.
Hello.
Is Nasser requesting? I don't think he's even.
He DM'd me that he wanted to go up here.
Yeah, he's been like begging to be brought up in general,
I
but
don't
he's
see him.
not
I
even
don't
in
see
the
him.
call.
Yeah, he's not even in here
Thank
anymore.
you.
Oh, I'll tell
Thank you,
him that
Mr.
he can
Chu,
rejoin.
for telling John.
Yeah, of
And
course, always.
thank you. The response to the president's speech, yes, Congress is truly a shit show. I can agree with the president on that. Why? It is I am not going to exclude myself. I am also a part of the problem. Why? Well, you've seen it. Congress is really a shit show when you can't handle your congressman. You are correct about that, Madam President. And yes, there has been many infighting. The last House session was truly something else where quorum was broken at the last second when we were trying to decide gold medals for the United States Capitol Police members who were at the August 19th situation. But yeah, I agree to that, but at the same time, I think that before allowing the newer generations to take over, we need to teach them, because there is nothing worse than giving someone power when they don't know how to do the job, and that's bad. We need to teach them, because that's what the older generations did with us. I learned from politics from, I don't remember his name. He was an older senator. He was a president. I learned politics from him.
Perfect.
But older people right now aren't teaching older generations how to enter politics. And mostly right now, the crisis that I see in Congress is that people are trying to be Frank Underwood, like this is House of Cards, trying to snake people for power, or that power is everything.
Mm.
And that's not all. It's from the players, and mainly from the side of the players. I see it from, not so much from the side of the system. Yeah, the multi-ballot system does allow from a majority party to get a lot of seats if you have the presidency. But what I go to is, first, we need to change the attitude, because people are taking this way too seriously. Like people think they are Frank Underwood snaking people for power, and that turns people off from Congress. Because when you give someone a hand, they grab you. There's a saying in my country: when you give someone their hand, they grab your arm, and that's what that tries to convey, is that people usually abuse of you if you give them confidence, and we should change that, because that's what happens in politics. You help someone, but then they immediately snake you, and that's what people see, and that's what people don't like about politics, in my opinion. That's not something that should happen. That happens in both parties. That happened with George, and that is happening right now. That's something we should change, and that is not something only for parties. That is the system in general, and that's bad. We need to bring morality and that sort of stuff back to Congress.
Yeah.
And now again, Congress is also right now very deadlocked, because because people want to have power, and people just deadlock Congress, and that's not how it should be. For example, T, what you did with Congress yesterday was good. If you had invited Hark, that would have been better, because Hark, I believe he is one of the most
I invited
how do you
everyone.
say?
I announced it in that server.
Yeah, but I mean, if you had Hark there, that would have been
So,
better,
Gats,
because
Gats,
Hark is
I have
one
a
of the
question.
best
I have a
speakers.
question.
If Congress people
Because
come to me asking how to write a bill and how to have a congressional session, do you want me to tell them no? Like, I could have done
no,
this
I'm
in a
not.
private setting, but
T,
I went to
T,
the
T,
caucus. I
T.
went to the caucus server
I'm
and I
not
announced
saying
it
that's
to
bad.
everyone.
I said that's great. But I'm saying that we need to bring people who have the leadership skills like Hart as well, because he has great leadership skills. I'm not saying what you did was
Gatso, I have a
wrong.
question for you.
Yeah, sure. Sure.
Okay, so what does people grabbing arms in your country having to do with all of this? That
It's
made
a
no
saying
sense. And I
to
don't.
mean people. It's a saying, what I'm trying to convey, that we need to bring morality back to politics, because people are just helping someone, but they snake them, and people see that because it's obvious, and people don't like that. For example, when people who helped George get elected, they got snaked as well, and people don't like that a lot.
Are
I'm
you
gonna be
comparing
honest.
this administration to
Yeah.
Georgia?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying everything. It happens everywhere. This is not a political issue. This is a players issue.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, this happens everywhere. This is not exclusive to T. This is not exclusive to George. It happens everywhere, because it's how people think politics should work, and we need to fix that.
So how
I believe
how
that.
are you personally gonna try to remedy that?
Well, I've been trying to do it in my own personal way. For example, some people, when I was back in 2023 and 2024, when I was starting politics, or new representatives were starting politics, I remember one who is currently right now sitting again in Congress, great friend of mine. I helped him with the ropes of Congress. I helped him to learn how to do stuff in the House, or to propose bills and whatever I helped him write the bills. He was trying to write, and I helped him to present them. And that's what we need to do. But that isn't happening right now, and we need to change that. We need to have camaraderie in the House or in the Senate to help the newer generations learn the ropes, so they can actually take the role of leading the new group.
But how are you fixing that?
Well, I just told you. I personally have been trying to help people, and I have currently one friend, great friend, who is still in the House doing that. I've been trying to do it personally. I can't change the system overnight, but if I can do it with one person, that's great, and that's how we should try to do it.
It's a team issue, as they say.
Yeah, yes, it's a team issue. We need camaraderie. We need team building experiences. People being people and not just snaking people for power. We need that back.
I think in general, what we need to what he's trying to say is like we need to encourage people to be more cooperative and maintain decorum and not be so snaky as to like break quorum during a session just to prevent what they don't want from happening.
For sure.
Yeah, and aside from that, not just that. I mean, personally, helping a new representative write new bills because they don't know how to, what the motions are, stuff like that. Seems easy and seems dumb for someone who has been in Congress, but to someone who's new, who just joined because they like the role, and we need to help them, because if we want the newer generation to take over, we need to teach them.
Here's my question for all of you, given the whole talk that, Noosa's in danger if we don't get the new generation up to code. Given how the state of Noosa politics has been, what would you do now if a new gen player were to come and say, hey, I'm interested in doing this, what would you commit to right now to help them get on this path? I'll tell you what I would.
It depends in general, I think.
Yeah, it depends in general.
As plutocratic chairman, if you want to run for Congress, and I can tell I hope you're a good person. If you pass personal judgment, which is very easy to do, you'll run for Congress, just like that. But I think we need to see that also from both parties in general. I will commit a lot to helping new generation players just because there's such a lack of people in general interested in politics. If you want to run, cool, run. I'll help you. I'll do whatever I can to help you win office.
Yeah, personally, I can do. Oh no, continue, John. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm being joined by Tactical Rummy, who wanted to speak. So if you'd like to unmute your mic, you can. But he's the Chief Justice, I believe, as well. Not the Chief Justice.
Chief Judge.
Oh, yeah. God. It's been a long day, okay? Someone... go ahead.
I feel you there. I'm going to make this very brief for everybody, but I just wanted to take a second to thank the Speaker of the House and the President for, one, inviting the court and making them part of the political process. And I think that's something that's often overlooked within our community, is the role that the judiciary plays within American democracy. And it was in Federalist Number 51 that James Madison wrote, long story short, were the executive magistrate or the judges not independent of the legislature in this particular, referencing separation of powers, their independence in every other would be merely nominal, which refers to the annulments annexed to, offices in the Constitution. So I just wanted to take a moment to say thanks there, and then also to address your concerns or questions that you had asked everybody else. That's one thing that I brought up in the conference, trying to address the health of our legal community, because it's just as important to make sure that we have people who will stand up and litigate and fight for people's rights or file lawsuits on behalf of injured parties, the same as it is for somebody to sit within the House of Representatives. So that is a very important part of our community. And but I pretty much just wanted to say thank you. I obviously have to be politically neutral and abstain from, voicing my grievances, but I do think it is important, and I would like to thank them both for inviting us. And there'll be an actual letter come out later, but I'm obviously preoccupied with some real life stuff going on this weekend.
Thank you for that interesting comment. Very appreciative of that. Gato, go ahead and continue what you were speaking.
Okay, now what I've been doing is, trying to help people, with the ropes of the house. I can't, I don't have, the reach to, teach everyone how the house works. So I can do it in a one-on-one basis. That's what we can do. Oh, also, can you bring Rami up?
Wait for a
Rami?
second.
Yeah,
Can I
Adremi,
talk
Adremi,
for a
Adremi.
second? Can I talk for a second?
Yeah, but can I finish?
Back to what I just want to say something real quick.
Oh, okay, no worries.
Back to what Mr. Chu was saying. If you want to run for Congress and get involved, just join the Pioneer Party. It's like a direct path. You learn a lot. We set you up. Of course you have to do stuff, but like
I
we
think
teach you how to
personally you
do
should join
things.
a plutocratic party instead, but that's
Why?
just my opinion
What
on
do
the
they
matter.
have to
Party
offer?
you choose is fine. Don't worry.
Just my
Just get
opinion on
involved.
the matter.
Hello.
I have a question. Sorry, wait. Were you still speaking?
Wait, I wanted to, finish what I was saying. Can I?
Okay, go.
If it's
Yeah.
important. Okay. So what I was trying to say is, for example, us politicians, lower middle ranked politicians, we can do is help people learn the ropes. Be nice, don't be an asshole. Help someone with the motion they're trying to say, correct them, teach them. That's what we can do. That's what Congress needs to do. For example, or also we need to improve on bipartisanship. For example, Mr. Chu, I can work with Mr. Chu. Great guy. He's very agreeable and he's a very nice guy. I can work with him.
Thank
And we
you.
need to improve on that. We need to also become less party centered and focus on the issues, because if we see it or blue or red, or talking about American politics, anything is not going to get done. If we see it as an American issue instead, we can do a lot of more things. If both parties, for example, to fix an issue, come to an agreement, we can do that, and that's easy. And that shows the people that the system is working. And that inspires people to actually get into politics, to do stuff, to be a representative, to be a staffer, to be a senator, to be a White House staffer, whatever, because it shows them the system is working. And that's what we need to do. We need to show the people that the system is working, that it's not only infighting, that it's not only us fighting about power. I don't know, you snake me, or I don't like you, I'm going to primary you, whatever. No, we need to show the people that the system is working. That's what we need to do. We need to improve ourselves as individuals and help other newer generation players to get the hang of things. So thank you.
Rami, are
My
you speaking?
question was actually in relation to the parties. You had like said, oh, you should join Plutocrat, whatever. What is the difference between the parties?
Speaking of that, I'm gonna put out a platform soon. I've
Sweet.
been working on it for like 2 weeks.
You actually have a good point there. What is.
And
What
yeah,
re-
I think the issue in general was when George was around, and even still now
Okay.
when you're around, T, this is not your fault, but parties are very personalistic in nature. Like,
Yeah.
the Plutos had an issue when George was around, which was, they're basically only centered on him. And that's obviously an issue for the political health of the country. When he gets banned, he gets completely blacklisted from the community, right? I think in general, what we need to do and what mods need to strive for too is to like depersonalize politics way more.
Yes.
And I'm going to try to do that. I wasn't exactly a forceful personality in the community, so it's not like people are voting for the party for me. But
And you know what? I actually encourage people to run as a plutocrat. And the reason why I say that, coming from a Pioneer National Committee member, is because there's nothing wrong with friendly competition.
Exactly.
I always enjoy having another political party to have across the aisle, because it also gives me perspective of what they want and what their constituents want as well, because we're not all here to represent one value, you know what I mean? We're representing the public in general. So it kind of gives us the ability to gauge, well, our side of the aisle and their side of the aisle, maybe what they're proposing
Here's-
isn't a horrible idea.
Here's my problem with that. No one wants to run in other parties if they're just
Because
going to
we
lose to the
lose.
established party. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Because like
That's
Ford was dead. You know, God bless Robert T. Lincoln. He's bringing Ford back, but it was dead up until like a week ago because nobody wanted to touch it because they just immediately lose. And look,
yes,
losing is not
exactly.
fun. I did it once. I
Exactly.
lost in my first Senate election a few
Everyone-
weeks, literally like a month ago. But
Everyone
it's
went
no
to the
fun.
plutocrats
Wants to win.
when George was the president. And
know,
then
I think
T
maybe
became
people
president.
that-
Everyone went to the freaking Pioneer Party.
Maybe a
If
piece
a
of
Ford
that is,
candidate
like-
were to win the presidency, everyone's gonna go to the Ford Party. It's the same
And that-
shit.
Hey, listen, okay.
John.
There's very few times in history that there has been a president that doesn't have a majority. There's very few times. Now,
Exactly.
it could differentiate between you could have a Senate majority or a House minority. It's different of every presidency, but majority of the time,
that is
each president.
also another issue with multi-ballot, but it's really hard to fix the issues with multi-ballot because what's better to use? Because if you have everybody voting for a senator, or if you vote for seat 1 60-40, every other seat is probably going to be 60-40 unless there's like a celebrity running at that point.
Thanks for speaking about multi-ballot. I have an unpopular take. Multi-ballot is good on paper, but when you get into the nuisance characteristics of it all, it has a horrible execution.
I don't know who's going to disagree with you there, John. Nobody's disagreeing with you there.
I think we all agree we just don't have an alternate solution.
There
Well,
is no
so
alternative solution.
What
It's
the
Newsom.
multi-ballot?
Problem.
What-
Because
what-
we have a problem. The system we had before is just people ran off popularity and the popular people won, and the people who weren't known just got obliterated in the polls, and that's not a system we need to. We need to
So-
improve on that.
The ideally, right, is we want fair elections for all, right? We want everyone to have a fair
Yes.
striking chance. But the thing is that multi-ballot is more party affiliation based, and the old system was more or less how many people you know. So it's much harder to get into the House on the old system, but now it's much easier for somebody if they just pick the right party.
Yeah, I think that's an issue in general. It's like
The parties are all the
New
same.
Gen enters politics. That's great. What party are they going to run under? It's going to be the party which wins the most, and that is, I will tell you, that is Pioneers. You know, when plutocrats won the Senate elections a few weeks ago, we saw a brief super gain of members, but now they're all gone. I wonder why that is. It's like that. It's hard because multi-ballot is extremely partisan, but the old top 7 system was very, very, very popularity contesty.
And
Yeah.
here's the thing I think is an issue with the plutocrat party right now, Mr. Chu, is I think more or less it left a bad taste in most people, more or less a personality cult.
No, I'm not disagreeing with you there.
And it kind of makes things difficult. So what I would suggest is honestly a rebranding in some capacity, because plutocrat has been a name that has been used for ages now.
A lot of
I remember
times.
I remember when I was originally here back when Southern Rush was president. Plutocrat was used then, and I came back, and it is now.
Guys, I'm going to have to wrap it up here. It is time for me to eat.
Oh, okay. All right.
I don't know what I'll be
The
eating,
stage.
It's
John,
John.
but yeah, you know
John's
what?
dinner time.
Can the creator?
Yeah,
the
why
creator
don't
take
yeah,
over?
y'all can argue and